And here we go. Thursday, May 19, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What is going on, my buddy?
Back in the saddle. Want to thank Maz and Adam yesterday.
100% held it down.
Absolutely held it down for us yesterday.
And here we are. How you feeling over there, Maz?
I'm feeling good, man. I do not like doing the show without you guys. I'll be honest. I enjoyed hanging with Adam and Stick and all the guys, but I just feel more comfortable sitting here looking at you two clowns.
Well, we're a team, right?
Yes.
We're a team.
We are.
Yes.
We're back at full strength today, actually.
And when one of the guys is out, Sam Flannel was out the last week.
I know.
So not having him around felt a little bit jaded. Sam Flannel back with us as well. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. It was a great trip, but I'm definitely happy to be back and do some more great shows. It was one of those where I tuned in from time to time, and you guys were holding it down really well. Fish did a great job. Fish actually had this job before I did, so everything went smooth, and let's get it going.
And
nice shot.
Absolutely. And, of course, Fletch over there. Fletch is just, I'm telling you, I say it every day. I walked in today, and everything that we wanted, it was all done for us.
Yeah.
This guy over here is a freaking superstar.
He's a machine, man. Fletch is a machine. He's been doing a great job. We talk, but you give him credit. You know, on every episode, he's done a great job. Since he's been with us, he's fit right in. He's jumped in it.
That's because you guys don't see him breaking my balls though when you guys aren't here.
But somebody's got to do it. And
I know.
And I'm happy that he's stepping up.
He's all over me, man.
That's perfect. Tigers playing today. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because I was going to say that because you're wearing the golf hat.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the PGA Championship on the screen in front of us right now. And there is something different about when Tiger Woods plays in the golf tournament. And you just don't get sick of it.
It's just a mystique. You know, when Tiger plays in a golf outing, they're going to have cameras on him. They're going to separately show him. They'll split screen whatever they're doing. If they're with the leaderboard, they're going to split screen, show him wherever he is. It doesn't matter. It's the optimism of him winning another major and tying Jack or getting that much closer to surpassing Jack Nicklaus, and just the people that try to go after him, like the young talent on this tour, man. Like when Tiger's playing, everybody is excited, whether it's Justin Thomas, whether it's Xander Schauffele. Everybody's excited, but they're all trying to kick that guy's ass, man, and it just makes the level of competition that much better when Tiger's on the course.
You know how I put a few bucks on this tournament?
Who's that?
I'm not kidding. At plus 1,900 yesterday.
Dustin?
DJ, I put up. He was plus 2,800. I put $10 on him, but I put $20 at plus 1,800 on Rory McIlroy.
And he is the leader right now, minus 5 through 16. Meanwhile, Tiger Woods on the course right now. He's on hole number 17. He is plus 2, but Rory McIlroy, PGA Championship, minus 5. Then you've got Hogue at minus 4, Matt Kuchar and Zalatoris at minus 3. Xander Schauffele, a popular pick this week as well at minus 2.
And this would have been Lefty's championship to defend. I'm talking Phil Mickelson, and I hear that he's in a little rough patch right now.
Yeah, he's definitely in a rough patch. You know, the comments that he made about the Saudi group that he was going to work with, and now he's facing that backlash. You know, the comments that he made, and he tried to go out there, and you know, we don't have to bring him up again. But
he's got a huge gambling debt too, I understand.
And that's where you're about to go. The gambling debt was from 2010 to 2014.
40 million?
41 million to be exact.
Jesus.
But he was able to get out of that debt. If I'm mistaken, he was able to get out of that debt through the PGA Americas. That's why they're so pissed. It was like, yeah, we knew about your gambling debt. We helped you get out of it, and this is how you try to repay it. So now I think Greg Norman's actually over there. He's the ambassador that brought Phil up. Now everybody's quiet. Now Phil doesn't know what to do. It's like you can't bite the hand that feeds you.
But to be quite frank, this is on Phil.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the PGA, they didn't say you can't come this weekend. They didn't say you can't play.
He's embarrassed.
It's his own embarrassment that has prevented him from playing this week, and
he's probably in no mindset to play.
Perhaps, but did you hear what Gary McCord said about Phil Mickelson? He said it was always well known that Phil Mickelson had all these side bets during tournaments against other players.
Right.
Currently players and he would rather win those side bets against his friends than actually win the tournament.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful thing.
Sick.
You know, it is. It's a very powerful thing. It's a sickness, and God bless Phil Mickelson and everybody else inflicted with that, because it's something that can change the course of many, many lives.
Yeah, I don't mind necessarily sickness. The sickness, definitely, I have the empathy for that, and I have the understanding, and I'm empathetic to him dealing with that sickness. I have the issue with the comments that were made, and we know that they killed the reporters, CNN, and we know that they're typically, they kill people that deal with LGBTQIA+. Like, he said all this, but I still won't turn down this cash. I still won't turn down this money. You can't make comments like that at 51, especially when the PGA has been so good to you for years and years and years. And let's say the PGA hadn't necessarily been that good to him. You know what the PGA stands for. You know what the PGA is. They're an old school traditionalist type group. Certain things they're not going to go for. And now you got the guys on the tour. You got those guys are against you. Those guys don't want to look at you. So that's why he's not playing. One, he's not in no mindset to go out there and play 4 days and compete at the highest level. But two, he's got to put his head down, because he doesn't want to look at guys that made a comment about what he said. He said he broke the code. You got the people that are on the board, the committees, things of that nature. You can't be. And also, he doesn't have the conversation yet to talk. Like, he doesn't know what to say when he gets interviewed by the media, or he does a presser, or he's talking to people. He doesn't have the words, and sometimes when you don't have the words, stay away.
Guys, we got so much to get to today. We are going to hit on the Detroit Pistons a lot, because we did not have a chance to comment on the Pistons picking number 5th. We're going to talk to Beerman as well, get you an update on the NBA playoffs tonight, see if he's got any baseball picks. Also, we are going to get heavily into the NIL. There is great sound with Jimbo Fisher, with Nick Saban, quotes from Jim Harbaugh, Deion Sanders. This thing is heating up. We're going to do that in the next segment, but I want to ask you guys quickly, did you see what the NFL is going to do next year with their schedules?
I see it, and I don't believe it.
It is.
I don't like it at all.
How we know, and this kind of goes with NIL a little bit. How we view sports, what we know about sports, is all changing. Yeah. It just is. I mean, from college sports to the NFL, everything seems to be changing rapidly. So our good friend Ari Meirov puts out a tweet. He says, starting next year, all NFL games will be free agents. There are no restrictions on where to put it. So, for example, an AFC road game no longer belongs to CBS, while an NFC road game no longer belongs to Fox. Every game is a jump ball. So it's, the NFC plays on Fox, the AFC plays on CBS, and, then you've got the Sunday night, Monday night games. That is not going to be the case next year. These TV networks have the NFL by the balls. They do.
Yeah. No. The NFL has the TV networks by the gonads.
There we go.
Thank you. That's what I meant. Thank you for clearing that up. Okay. That's what I meant. Because the NFL accumulated $110 billion.
Wasn't enough.
From Fox, CBS, NBC, Amazon, and ESPN. Yeah. Braylon. And now they want these games up for bid? That's essentially, if Fox wants the Lions-Packers, for the right to win the NFC Championship game in 2023. You like how I did that?
I saw that.
They probably have to ante up.
This is true, man. You look at it, the NFL has had the TV companies by the brass for a long time now. And now I think they're tripling, quadrupling down and stepping on the neck because other networks were doing. You see the NHL did the deal this year. They did the deal with they bought it back to ESPN. They did the TNT. So you see all these people moving up. The NBA, they've gotten bigger. They've grown their company. I think this is another power move by the NFL to say, you guys think you're doing something? Hold my beer. So now they're just getting all the money they can. They are the greediest institution, but we love it.
And they're going to keep asking for more. And the TV stations are going to keep bending over and saying, you got it.
But if you think about it, Bray, 75 of the top 100 television shows, year in, year out, are NFL games.
Yeah.
And the top 50. The top 50 for 50 is the NFL, and then 75 of the top 100. So it is big business. Think about all these television shows where you've got the millionaire actors and all that stuff.
Right.
They don't do nothing.
No.
This is about the NFL, and mix in some college football, as well in that top 100 too.
Yeah, the big thing about it is, when I was in the NFL and when I kind of learning about deals, kind of learning about how contracts work, everything was, well, when this next TV deal hits, And when you first in the league, you don't know what that means. What does the TV deal and the TV contract for the NFL and these various networks have to do with how I get my money? A couple years in the league, and you start to realize that when they get the TV deals, everybody else's contracts goes up and vice versa. So that TV money is huge, man, and it's also huge to the players because guys like Tyreek Hill, you can't get $250 million deals if the TV money isn't that high. So everything goes hand to hand.
Yeah, without these TV deals, you're not seeing 40, 45, $50 million quarterback contracts,
not
right?
Even close.
$400 million for a quarterback. You don't see that without these huge TV deals. So
and the broadcasters are getting paid too.
$33 million combined for Buck and
Forget
Aikman.
that. I think how about
Tom
Brady?
Brady.
$37 million a year coming up pretty soon in the year 2028 for Tom Brady.
And that'll be a bargain before you know it.
Right. No doubt. Well, if you think about $110 billion, right, you're spending that, you're going to pay your broadcasters.
Yep. Hey, look, I'm watching the Magic Johnson on Apple TV.
I got to watch that.
It's awesome. I'm on episode 2. And remember when they paid him in 1981 after they won the first championship? Jerry Buss gave him a 25-year contract for $25 million.
Yeah.
And every Laker hated him for it, was jealous. And, they admitted it. He admitted it. But look how it turned out. That was cheap. That's cheap.
Hell yes, it was.
It's super cheap.
Yeah, so what you're seeing now, don't even bat an eyelash at it because it's only going up from here.
It's like looking at Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was the first one to sign that $100 million deal in the NBA. It was 12 years, $120 million. We look 120. Now you look at it, that was essentially $10.1 million.
Right.
A-Rod, $200 million. Remember?
250.
Yeah,
252, I think it was,
252.
right?
Freaking bargain now.
Yeah.
It was 252, and then I think Juan Gonzalez signed a big one before he came here.
Yeah.
It was 252, and then
Guys, we're going to switch gears. If you have not heard the sound of Jimbo Fisher, of Nick Saban.
it's a fight.
Whoa. Here we go. I say, here we go. Here we go.
This
That
is the
game in October.
Hatfields and McCoys.
My goodness.
There you go.
Hashtag October 8th.
Oh, man.
Because that is the day Texas A&M
in
plays
Tuscaloosa.
Alabama.
We'll get to this.
Who's paying for that game?
CBS. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. You got to make a plan, though. Allocation in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford also has over 350 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on them, so they're like new. For more, visit LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
We find new roads.
Yes, sir.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Man, we had it. That plus 270 in the bag for DCFC. Damn, they give up a late goal in extra time. Oh, we had it in our hands. Oh, the joys of sports betting. Last second, just take it away. But anyway, out in the Man Raj, we're going to watch this basketball game. Woodward Bets, 4:30. Check us out.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. With the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan, there is nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. That is 844-GO-TO, the number, ALTA, today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
Woodward Sports Network, thanks so much for choosing the Bottom Line, Ermanni and Edwards, for your sports listening or viewing experience.
It is an experience.
Yes, it
It
is.
is an experience.
And look, college football is, I think it's so hard because I love the NFL too, but
Right.
I'm a college guy. I love the NFL. I'm a football guy. How about that? right?
Yeah.
I mean, college football to me is the best, and I hate what's happening to the sport. I really do.
Oh, it's gross.
I do hate what's happening. I don't know how to stop it.
Just call it pro ball now.
I don't have an alternative.
Right.
I wanted the guys to get paid. Not like this. But Nick Saban was speaking to a group of businessmen or business gala last night in Birmingham, Alabama. Had some thoughts on what's currently happening right now in college football with name, image, likeness. Here's a sample.
Our paying players, we're going to have to eliminate sports. All right, and this is all bad for college sports. I mean, we probably have 450 people on scholarship at Alabama, whether they're women's tennis players, women's softball players, golfers, baseball players, non-revenue sports that have for years and years and years been able to create a better life for themselves because they've been able to get scholarships and participate in college athletics. That's what college athletics is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be something where people come and make money, and you make a decision about where you go to school based on how much money you're going to make. You should make a decision based on where you have the best chance to develop as a person, as a student, and as a player, which is what we've always tried to major in, and we're going to continue to do that, and hopefully there's enough people out there that will want to do it. But I know the consequence is going to be difficult for the people who are spending tons of money to get players. And you've read about them. You know who they are. I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. Yeah. So it's tough, and people blame the NCAA. But in defense of the NCAA, we are where we are because of the litigation that the NCAA gets, like the transfer portal. Every time somebody wanted to transfer, they'd apply for a waiver. If you didn't give them, the NCAA didn't give them a waiver so they could be immediately eligible, they filed suit. So the NCAA would back off and give them a waiver. So they just said, we're just going to make a rule where everybody can transfer. That's how that happened. So if the NCAA doesn't get some protection from litigation, whether we got to get an antitrust or whatever it is, from a federal government standpoint, this is not going to change because they cannot enforce their rules, just like now.
They cannot enforce their rules. Texas A&M bought every player. He did say as well as in this speech that there was a guy going to Florida State that was paid $1 million to go to Jackson State. That's where we are right now in our program. We're second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, likeness. We didn't buy one player. Says there were about 25 guys on his team last year, Braylon, that made a total of about $3 million. They did it the right way by the intent of the rule. What's your reaction to Nick Saban?
Shut up. Nick Saban and Alabama and the SEC have been breaking the rules for year after year after year after year after year. And now that everybody's catching up, and he can't be the only guy doing it, and they're not figuring it out. Well, I don't want them to be able to do this, and they're breaking it. Come on, Nick Saban. Like, at the end of the day, they're making the playing field level. And I get it. You say, well, Texas A&M, they bought all their players. But last time I checked, I believe that Bryce Young, who won the Heisman last year, had $1 million NIL deal before he even got there. I believe they brought him from California to Tuscaloosa with $1 million NIL deal. And then he goes and wins the Heisman Trophy. So let's not act like guys aren't getting paid on your team, too. Like, you can't enforce it. The NCAA, you got to be mad at the NCAA. Like, don't protect the NCAA, Nick Saban. You got to be mad at the NCAA because they're not enforcing the rules that technically supposed to come with NIL deals. We talked about Ermanni Bates and going on his recruiting trip and sitting down with FedEx. That's illegal. But the NCAA didn't enforce that.
They don't enforce the rules.
They didn't enforce that. Poaching players from other institutions. You talk about Caleb Williams. You talk about what they're doing with Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley's pulling up in Rolls Royces. Poaching players. That's illegal. But nobody's enforcing it. So at the end of the day right now, it is the Wild Wild West. There are just a lot of things going wrong with it. But don't sit here and complain knowing that you and your program has been doing things under the table for a very long time. And just because you're not necessarily the one giving the money to the players, or we're giving the money to the players, Nick Saban, just because you weren't necessarily in the room when donors were giving money or when these NIL deals are coming about, you still know about them.
Here's a guy that gets paid, I think, more than any other coach.
11.
Yeah, than in the country. And here's a guy that doesn't have a mortgage. They bought his house for him in Alabama. He might as well be the governor of Alabama. What he says goes. But they're all crooks. Every single one of them are crooks, especially in the SEC. They've been playing the NFL rules since I had hair. Okay? And now he's going to talk, and now Jimbo Fisher, the other devil, is going to come up and say what he's got to say. And you got the little guys like Dion going to a black college, a historically black school, and trying to get them to be competitive, trying to take over for Grambling's head coach,
John Robinson, Eddie Robinson.
Eddie Robinson. Yeah. Trying to keep them alive, trying to bring that up, because let's face it, those kids, they want to go play for Dion because they can relate to Dion. All this guy is doing is paying him out his ass.
Here's my biggest thing with it as well, man. Like, don't narc, which is the word used. Don't narc on other people. Like, you don't need to sit up there as Nick Saban and talk about what Texas A&M is doing. Just because Texas A&M beat you last year, don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what Alabama is doing. You got 6 national championships at Alabama, worrying about what they're doing at Alabama. Don't worry about Texas A&M. Don't worry about these other programs. Because the comment that pissed me off is just like you're talking about. He made the comment that said that Deion Sanders and Jackson State went and paid that young man Tyler $1 million to come to Jackson State. Deion has already said that that was not true. He said that that was false. The young man came out and said that it was false. Jackson State's athletic director came out and said that that was false. The kid's parent came out and said that it was false. Nowhere have you found that these people aren't telling the truth. Nowhere has it been proved that that's a lie. This is where the back channel is. Here's the thread, or here's the money trail to the $1 million. Nowhere is that. So why are you bringing up Deion Sanders? And then you get people talking like, well, it has to be true because one, Nick Saban says it, and then two, why would a player leave a Florida State commit or another one of these major institutions to go to little old Jackson State, a black school? It's because he wants to play for a coach that looks like him. He wants to play for a coach that's the best coach. That's the best personality, argue, that the NFL has ever seen. And oh, by the way, he's the best DB the NFL has ever seen. That's why the kid wants to go there. His parents believe in black colleges, and they believe in HBCUs, and they believe in Deion Sanders. Why can't it be that? So I don't like that too, because now it's making him look like this petty old man. Stay off my lawn. Don't be that guy, Nick Saban, because I have a lot of respect for you. I've been one of your biggest fans. Don't be that guy now because you lost the national championship last year, and now the playing field, regardless of how wild it is, it's even.
So I feel like these are two different things here. And if you're watching on YouTube, Deion Sanders took to Twitter last night and said, "You best believe I will address that lie Coach Saban told tomorrow," which is today. "I was awakened by my son Shadur that sent me the article stating that we paid Travis Hunter Jr. $1 million to play for us at Jackson State. We as a people don't have to pay our people to play with our people." There's so many different layers to this, and I feel if we could separate the Texas A&M situation from the Jackson State situation, I think I've got a fairly reasonable take on that. And I want to share it with you guys next, and you will hear from Jimbo Fisher, who pretty much reacts to reacts to Saban. But if you listen, he doesn't deny anything that Saban said. So I want you guys to listen to that as well. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's is the place to be to come and get a precision haircut by one of their talented stylists. As you know, we broadcast live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's at 15 Mile in Woodward in the great city of Birmingham. Definitely awesome to get off the air and be looking good. Highly recommend Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men near you. Over 100 locations nationwide, many of them locally here in the Metro Detroit area. Walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee! Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
OddsTrader.com, the #1 site for all your game day bets. Begin your handicapping journey at OddsTrader.com. For play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking, download OddsTrader from the App Store today. For the best price on every game and sign-up offers from multiple sportsbooks, visit OddsTrader.com. Player statistics and key game stats are all available at OddsTrader.com. Use BetTracker to keep records of all your games and betting activity at OddsTrader.com.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. I want to separate, if we could, what Nick Saban said about Jimbo Fisher in Texas A&M, where Texas A&M bought every single player last year to have the #1 recruiting class in the country, and what he said about Deion, because I do think there's two different elements to it, and I think there's two different sides to it. Let me start with the Jimbo Fisher.
Okay.
Jimbo Fisher has been at Texas A&M for 5 years, okay? How many times has Jimbo Fisher ever had the #1 recruiting class in the country?
Once.
Last year.
Exactly.
Texas A&M has been a long-standing member of the Big 12 Conference and a really pretty decent football program for decades. How many times has Texas A&M had the #1 recruiting class in the country? 0 times in the last 40, 50 years.
All right.
So how, all of a sudden, it's not like Jimbo Fisher just left Florida State to come to Texas A&M and reinvigorated this program so much to the point where Texas A&M has the #1 recruiting class in the country. He's been there for 5 years, since 5th year. So there does seem to be something a little off on that one. Conversely, Deion Sanders. This is where Saban is wrong.
Right.
Because, as you said, Braylon, Deion Sanders is new to this game. Deion Sanders is new to coaching. He is new to this new way to play college football. Yep. You can come to an HBCU and you can go pro, you can play on national television, and I'm going to mentor you and coach you for the rest 100%. Of your life. That's I almost swore.
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good deal.
That's amazing.
Deion Sanders is your coach?
But it ain't $1 million.
No. But you know what you do have? You do have the ability to learn from one of the best. And if you do believe in yourself, then you make that up on the back end in the NFL.
Players at Alabama are always drafted. Players at Georgia are always drafted.
No doubt about it.
I'm just playing the other side.
I know. And listen, I understand. But all I can do is take a man at his word. Deion Sanders has never, and I forget the player's name, every single person in the minute this happened has denied it. And you don't really have to deny it. Did Bryce Young deny making $1 million last year? You don't have to deny this stuff if it's not happening.
He said Jackson State doesn't have that kind of money. That I believe.
Exactly. And he says we didn't do this either. So there's no... Look, Spencer Rattler became a free agent in college football, and everybody's tweeting, we'll give you $1 million at Eastern Michigan. This is something you don't have to hide. So why would Deion Sanders hide this if it was true? I don't believe it happened. Now, I might be naive, but I don't believe it happened. I think the young man wanted to go play for Deion.
And why would Nick Saban give a damn anyway? Because you got other players you paid.
Exactly. Now, the Fisher thing is befuddling to me. It is.
I get that, but what does it matter? We now live in a system where NIL is legal. You can recruit players based on NIL, apparently. Like you see what Texas is doing. Texas, for every lineman on the team, they're getting $50,000, which technically is illegal too, by the way. But the NCAA once again hasn't stepped in and enforced it. But what does it matter? This is where we are at. Alabama has done so many things under the radar, and I don't speak this from speculation. I know this for a fact. They've done so many things over the year. Now here we are. We have the NIL deal in place where you can pay players, where you can come and find a way to put some money in players' pockets or find a way to do some things, and we know that to be true. Texas A&M, with the oil money, they've gone after it. They've gone after the weight room. They've gone after the players now. They're bringing players in. They beat Alabama last year. That definitely didn't hurt them in recruiting. That also is another reason why Nick Saban is a little ticked off at this situation. But so what, Nick? You're on your way out. Why not poke the bear, because you are the bear, but why push at Jimbo Fisher because he beat you last year? Because they're doing essentially the same thing everybody's doing. Now it's legal for everybody to do what you guys have been doing. Now you're upset. Lane Kiffin was the first person to make that comment, by the way.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin said it about Jimbo too.
Exactly. That was back in January.
Yeah. He
went after him back in January. So I get it, Nick, but at the same time, you guys are paying players. I just mentioned Bryce Young. Will Anderson Jr. is going to be worth $2 million this year in NIL deals. Everybody is paying players to come to their institution now, or they're finding ways. Sometimes, hell, it's not even about excuse me. Because he made another comment in that conversation that I actually did like. He said, because what's going to happen is there's going to be some donor that recruits that somebody's family or some player that's set 5-star and is going to say, hey, if you come here, we got this for you. They're going to come there. It's not going to work. They're going to transfer, and that donor is going to be pissed that they did it and not do it again. Some things you can't help. As Nick Saban, I will give him credit for that because he is telling the truth.
Listen, can we all agree to one thing? Isn't it too much money?
The Wild West.
Isn't it too much to give an amateur athlete?
Unproven, yes.
Yeah, I don't like it. And that's why I go back to this thing about Saban, where I like the message, I hate the messenger. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't think Nick Saban should be the one complaining about this stuff, but I do like the message. I hate what college football has become, and I don't know why I hate it, because I fully believe these players should be able to make whatever they can make when they can make it. So I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I'm just so confused by all of it, and I hate what college sports has become. I just do.
You hate the messenger because, and I told you a story, and I'll tell it again. In 2003, where was Nick Saban? He was at LSU. Who won the national championship that year? LSU. When I was coming to Michigan, we had a defensive tackle that had committed, was supposed to be in the class before mine. I actually said that wrong last time. Marquise Hill. Marquise Hill was a D tackle, committed to Michigan in the 2000 class. Last second, LSU, Nick Saban, they come in with the Tahoe. They pay this kid, and this is when Nick Saban just got there. They pay the kid, gets the Tahoe. Then he decommits from Michigan. He goes to LSU. Goes to LSU, they win a national championship, et cetera, et cetera. So Nick has been doing this for a long time. Whether he's been in the room or not, whether he's been the one that's facilitating someone getting paid, he's known about this for a very long time. That's my biggest issue with him trying to point out Jimbo Fisher and other institutions and how they're doing it. Like, Nick, I get it. You know, you didn't win a national championship last year. You lost to Jimbo Fisher. I know that bothers you as well. But with that being said, take a step back, sit back, and relax. Okay, you're pointing fingers at everybody else. Everybody is going to start doing the same thing. You're just, once again, you're mad that the playing field is level and you can bring these guys in. Oh, they're buying championships now like George Steinbrenner, and you guys haven't. Like, so miss me with that. You're 70. You got 7 national championships. You're the elder spokesperson for the NCAA college football. Stick with that.
If you said that to Nick Saban, would he accept that that's gospel? What you just said about the kid that went to LSU?
Would Nick Saban have to accept the fact that Marquise Hill told me out of his own mouth he got $150,000 and a Tahoe?
What would Nick Saban say to that?
I don't know anything about that. That's
Right
what
there.
he'd say.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
and honestly, he probably would pass a lie detector test on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like Nick Nolte. Nick
Oh,
Nolte,
yeah. Blue chips.
It's just like Nick Nolte and Blue Chips.
He got sick of it, though.
After they paid everybody, he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know exactly what you're talking
Talk to
about.
Happy.
Because on your conscience, you saw what happened on his conscience after that loss. He went in there, told all the truth, he gave it up, and he retired. So he knows.
Nick Saban would pass a lie detector test about
100%.
that.
So they all would.
Yeah, because that they're insulated by
Yes.
it. That's why they can come out and talk like this. Fletch, I want to play Jimbo Fisher's response to Nick Saban. This is pretty darn good.
Last night in Alabama?
Yes, I would. First of all, I'll say it's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. They're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all and the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit here and defend 17-year-old kids and families in Texas A&M because we do things right. We're always going to do things right. But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit here at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it. And it's despicable. It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well. It's amazing that we're allowed to do those things. It's really despicable. And I hate it. For our players who are coming here, who did things the right way, have done things the right way, and will continue to do things the right way, I apologize to you that people insult you publicly the way they're doing it. And our fans, I apologize to you guys for people saying those things about Texas A&M. But promise you this, there are no violations. There are nothing wrong. It's the second time we've had to do this with grown men who don't get their way and want to pout, throw a fit, and act up. Just go ask all the people who work for him. You'll know exactly what he's about. I always said this. My dad always told me this. When people show you who they are, believe them. He's showing you who he is.
Question.
Jimbo Fisher for the win. Are you kidding me?
That's how you go after somebody.
Jimbo Fisher, let me tell you something.
I'm rooting for Texas A&M behind Michigan this year.
He's as slimy as they come. Jimbo, though, too. They're all slime ball.
I understand.
Braylon, they're all slime
But
balls.
he's basically telling you, he said, look, from one slime ball to another, man, don't trust that man.
But, I mean, you want to clean up NIL?
Yeah.
Have these guys button heads.
Keep in mind, he knows him, not only just from the long
He
tenure.
knows where the bodies are buried.
He's been on the staff, plural. That's why when Lane Kiffin came at him, who's also been on staff with Saban, he went after Lane Kiffin, back in March, he said, really?
Lane went after Jimbo.
I said,
they're all going after Jimbo.
And then 100%. But guess what? Jimbo's been on the staff with Lane and been on the staff with Alabama's Nick Saban. He said, you guys want to place him as this czar? That's what you're starting to see, boy. Woo!
We're going to continue on with this. You'll hear from Jimbo Fisher. One thing he did not say in that. We'll let you know. But first, the message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Man.
That's right. Chili Peppers Tanning celebrating 20 years of sunshine. Join Big D Energy's Darren McCarty, our lover, our D-Mac, and Neil Rule tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Troy location on John R. Road for the 20th anniversary, including a grand prize giveaway of $20,000. A contest. Get your tan on one of 26 of their locations, one right down the block here on Woodward. All month, join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. For more information, check them out at chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
People think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it. And it's despicable. It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well.
He knows where the bodies are buried. Jimbo Fisher calling out Nick Saban. For Nick Saban calling out Texas A&M, saying, yeah, they have the #1 recruiting class in the country because they bought each and every single one of their recruits last year. 6 5-star guys they got, more than Michigan has had in the last 20 years, by the way.
What does doing it the right way mean when he says we doing it the right way?
I'll tell you exactly what it means.
mean?
I'll tell you exactly what it means. They are executing NIL perfectly.
Yeah.
They are not. Notice he didn't say we didn't pay anybody. He said we have not broken any laws. We have not broken any rules.
Yeah.
We are doing it the right way. He is paying these guys essentially to the letter of the law for NIL.
So what's the wrong way then?
I don't know.
What's he mean?
I don't know.
I think what he's trying to tell you, Maz, is Nick Saban, before NIL was happening, like I told you the story about Marquise Hill in 2003 where they won the national championship, but they brought him in 2001. He's telling you, I know this guy. The NIL really just got going about 2 years ago, right? When they signed the dotted line, we saw the one player get in trouble because he signed some autographs before NIL technically kicked in last June. But then last year, they were already kind of using the NIL. That's why they've only had the #1 recruiting class. They had the #1 recruit class once, and that was last year because they just started doing the process. So he's saying that Nick Saban, in the past, has known about things that were going on from donors and sponsors and under the table and, little put money inside coat of your coat pocket. That's been going on with Nick Saban, maybe Michigan State, LSU for certain, and damn sure Alabama, because remember, that program was in shambles when he went down there to turn it around. So what he's basically saying is, people who live in glass houses, which is all of us, don't throw stones. Nick threw a mean stone, and he lives in a house that looks like Lady Jane's with all these damn windows.
Why would he do that, Braylon? Why would he poke the bear like that?
Because he knows he's losing now.
Yes.
Then retire.
Listen, he knows.
Retire.
Listen, he knows he's losing. He knows he's losing the SEC because you've got Georgia coming. They came. They just throned him. Now you got Texas A&M coming. It ain't
Tennessee's
just Alabama and everybody else now. I mean, you've got some teams that have come and that are coming. You've got USC. Don't forget about USC. They're gonna have some fun too.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, with this NIL, within 3 years, Texas is going to be a national championship contender as well. Not just Texas A&M, but the Longhorns are going to be coming too. This puts everybody on par. This could put Eastern Michigan on par with Alabama if they have the money. Anybody with money can do it right.
Stop.
Michigan's got money.
Stop it with Eastern being
Well, I'm just saying.
Knock it off.
You know who has money? And we were talking to our guy, Chad Johnson, about this earlier.
Michigan State's got money.
If Michigan is not careful, Michigan State is going to execute this perfectly because of how many billionaires they have with the willingness to keep their coach, to get any player they want. Now, I don't think they've done that, or I don't want to come out here and say they've done anything unsavory at all, because they have not. But what I am saying is Michigan State seems well more than capable to live in this college football world and this college basketball world, to be quite frank with you, than Michigan does right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's why if Michigan would have came out, let's say Jim Harbaugh would have came out and had this conversation, it would be much different than Nick Saban. It would be received much differently. Michigan is an institution that is perceived to do things the right way, which they have done things the right way. So the conversation will be a little bit different. With Nick Saban, this is why you're getting this from Nick Saban. One, he does not like Jimbo Fisher. And the one guy he doesn't like, who is Jimbo Fisher, who beat him last year. Jimbo Fisher beat him in the regular season last year. He didn't like that. Also, too, Nick Saban knew that the NIL was coming. Definitely didn't know the NIL was going to be like this, but he knew it was coming. But he probably figured. Because think about what happened. He won the national championship last year. Not this past season. He won the national championship last year. So I guarantee you in his mind, he's like, all right, kind of like a Coach K situation. All right, cool. You know what? Won last year. We got Bryce and Will Anderson this year. We'll probably win again this year. They didn't because of injury to Jameis Williams. But they're like, all right, I'll win a couple more. And then maybe in 2000, Spencer is an idiot. Spencer's outside with his doggone shirt up. But anyway, and you guys, you know what? You guys can see it in the screen. Anyway, he probably thought, hey, you know what? These guys right here. Anyway, he probably thought, we'll win 2. And then I'll, ride off into the sunset,
but he didn't.
Be cool, or maybe even 3. I think he believed he had more time with Alabama being creme de la creme. He did not know that the NIL was going to kick like that, like a ton of bricks. He did not know that Brian Kelly was going to leave in the middle of the night during the season from Notre Dame to LSU. He didn't know that Lincoln Riley was going to leave an Oklahoma team that gets to the playoffs every other year. He didn't know that he was going to leave and go to USC. He didn't know that Texas A&M was going to use all that oil money, jump Texas as the number 1 revenue stream in college football, or actually just college in general, and start buying players, start executing the plan that was put in place by NCAA. Now that it's happening, people get anxiety when change happens too fast. That is human nature. And right now, change has happened too fast in Tuscaloosa. It has happened too fast to what Nick Saban thought that he could do. And now he's panicking. He has anxiety. He doesn't know what to do because guess what? For the first time in Nick Saban's tenure at Alabama, tomorrow ain't promised.
Let me ask you guys this, and I don't want to get off these 2 teams, but bring it back home here. You brought up Michigan State and Mel Tucker. We all know he's already a shark in the water. All right? He knows how to work the transfer portal as good as anybody. And Jim Harbaugh came out with his statement today. And let me read that to you.
I was going to do that. Can you pause?
I can't pause.
We're coming up on it. We'll do.
I just want to know how Michigan is going to be able to compete when you guys say they don't want to play that game.
Well, let's do that next. That's exactly what we're going to do next. You'll see what Jim Harbaugh has to say, and we'll react, and we'll kind of put it all into one ball with this college football.
It's unbelievable.
We'll do that next, but first, a message from Cintron.
That's right. The summer of Cintron is here. Well, you know what? Maybe not the summer quite yet, but spring is definitely here. And right now, in select Kroger locations, Cintron is there 2 for $4 with their energy drink, talking about the classic sugar-free, as well as cranberry. I love that cranberry. Can't get enough of it. Check out Cintron, man. You see that can, you see that crown? They want you to be king and queen of your destination, king of your destiny, queen as well, and they want to be here for the moments. So why don't you let them live it, love it, drink it with Cintron.
At Wingsnob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Hey, everybody, Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. They brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, the hot cakes, the waffles were outstanding. Had them last week. If you're not feeling breakfast, lunch and dinner is up for you. New strawberry bacon chicken wrap, the chicken crispy chicken wrap, the nacho wrap. How about the strawberry salad? Don't forget to grab a dessert, including our berry delicious piece of strawberry pie. Costs you $1.99 with any purchase of $7.99 from a participating Big Boy location.
Talking about really the story of the day in the sports world, and no, it's not that 9-6 Calgary Flames Edmonton Oilers game.
I did not like that, by the way.
I loved it.
No, I like the Rangers Carolina.
God. But you know what's so crazy about that, Maz? And I loved it as well, Ryan. I'm on your side. I loved it. And I talked to Tom. DJ Tom T that's my golf guy. I mean, excuse me, not my golf guy. That's my hockey guy. I talked to him about hockey. He stays up late like you and watches those matches, those games. it's not a show of poor defense.
No.
Like, it's not a show of how bad the defense is, where they gave up 15 points. It just shows how freaking good and close and lucky you have to be. Lucky and great at the same time to win. I don't know, man. I think Calgary and Tampa in the final, man.
Dude,
I wouldn't count against it.
2 goals in the first minute of the game.
Fastest 2 goals ever.
6-2, 6-6, 9. I mean, unbelievable action.
Calgary was so good. Like, you don't even get a chance to talk about how damn good Connor McDavid is.
I didn't think Calgary could score 9 goals in the series.
Amazing.
Let alone 9 in one game.
Neither of those teams have a goalie. That's the downfall.
Yeah,
very true.
Watch for Carolina still.
Very good. I know. I was hoping the Rangers would win.
Not me.
I don't know why. Maybe because does Peter Carmano
Islanders
still
guy.
own the Flames or no? Are the
The
Carolina or
Hurricanes?
no?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he does.
He might
either.
though. He
No,
might
no.
have.
I'm an
peace.
Islanders guy too. Like when you play for the Jets, and we get right back on track.
Yep.
When you play for the Jets, or when you cheer for the Jets, or you cheer for one of those, you instantly become a fan of the other franchises. It's like if you're a Jet,
Jets,
then
Mets,
you're
Nets,
a Met
Islanders.
guy, then you're an Island guy, and then you're a Brooklyn Nets guy.
Yep.
It just happens like that. So as soon as I became a Jet and got endeared to that fan base, and you feel like the stepbrother, like mentality, that's why I understand it.
Mets, Jets, Islanders.
That's the
And
truth,
Nets.
man. Like you're like the hell with the Rangers, the hell with the Giants.
That's right. Mets, Jets, Nets,
Islanders
Islanders.
or Knicks, Rangers,
Yankees.
Giants.
Give me
to
that
mention,
all day.
One of my best friends when I was at Michigan was, who Eric Nystrom, and his father is
Bobby Nystrom, number 23.
So I naturally had to be an Islanders guy.
Amen, baby.
You're never a Yankees and Islanders fan.
He likes the Yankees.
I love them all.
He loves them
except the Rangers.
Yeah.
That's the only New York team I
Either
don't root
way.
for. That's because
Very
all my
good.
friends are on them.
Maz, you mentioned that Jim Harbaugh weighed in. It's hard not to weigh in on any of this stuff. He was at an event last night, really good event for autism. Xavier DeGraat really puts a really nice.
I was supposed to go to that event, but I couldn't make it, man. He's a great kid.
Yeah, he's a great kid and a great event. But Harbaugh was there last night. Let's put up what he had to say. Where is it here, Maz? Okay, here it is. We can't be a part of it, Harbaugh said on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. We can't have any fingerprints on it, which we don't. I'll give you my take on it, which I think is a very good thing. I think players should be able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. But I don't want to lose what Michigan is. And it's a transformational experience, not a transactional experience. But with the NIL, it can become transactional. We're not going to recruit players and be promising them money to come here. But it's been proven. You come here and you play well, and your jersey starts selling, you start getting those deals. We have players that are making, from what I've been told, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
From what I've been told.
Exactly.
I like that wording.
But I do think for this to be sustainable, you have to have the head coaches that are concerned with football.
Yeah.
You cannot have a revolving door of players that knock on the head coach's door and say, "Where's my money?" That cannot happen in any world that we live in that is remotely reasonable. This has to be done elsewhere.
One thing I love about this, and this isn't me being a Michigan guy, this is me just telling you guys the truth, is Michigan. Harbaugh went to Michigan. Harbaugh was under Bo Schembechler. Harbaugh learned how to do it the Michigan way. Harbaugh learned about the team. They learned about doing things the right way. They learned about being Michigan men. Now he comes back after going to Stanford. He comes back after coaching in the NFL. So he knows young men. He also knows older men. Guys in their late 20s, early 30s. He knows how to do it the right way. One thing about being that is you feel that way. So he's representing an institution. He's also representing those kids. He wants everything to be done the right way. And I think that's what you're seeing at the University of Michigan. You're seeing it done the right way. My only concern about it being done the right way is not it being done the right way. How long before you walking into those living rooms and the kids are like, "So what's up with the NIL deals?"
It's happening now.
This is exactly because it's happening now. But see, Michigan won the Big Ten championship last year. They beat Ohio State last year. They made it to the playoff. So right now, it's not affecting them because they're seeing that success. They saw what they did last year. That's the last memory they have of their football season was a success. What's going to happen is when you can't get those guys anymore, because they go after different players. If you notice the players that they bring in, They're different than the players that Alabama brings in. They're different from the players that LSU brings in. They seem to be a Michigan men, according to Harbaugh, which I will give them that. Very intelligent, play the game as well. But what happens when those kids start wanting to go to USC? When those kids start wanting to go to LSU and Alabama and Texas A&M, where they're recruiting all these kids? What happens when you now can't get the guys? Because remember, that was the big conversation with Michigan State and Michigan back in the day, is Michigan State couldn't get the same kids that Michigan could get. That was the big thing. Just like you and Chad were talking about, what happens when that flips? And now Michigan can't get the 5-star athletes. Michigan can't get the 4 stars. Michigan is now scraping the barrel to get the 3 stars, or they're scraping at the transfer portal. When that happens, does that send Jim Harbaugh into retirement, or does that have Jim Harbaugh change his concepts about what he thinks the NIL should be?
Let me ask you this, Capre and Rye. First of all, Larry Foote says hey to both of you.
What up, Foote? I saw him the other day.
I bowled against Scenery the other night. He is a pleasure to be with. So that's first of all.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about this, man. Take me back.
Take you back.
Take me back to Bo. Take me back to Lloyd. 2 guys I loved.
Yeah.
I worked with Bo, did a radio show with him.
I know both extremely well.
Lloyd, he's like a grandfather. I love him.
Yeah.
Did they cheat?
So according to my father, Bo didn't cheat. Bo was not a cheater. Bo didn't have anything to do with anything in that nature. So my father told me, it's what I believe because I know Bo. Like, Bo's the guy I'm telling you. Like, Bo had an office. And so I've known Bo since I was a kid. I used to go to Tigers games with Bo. We talked about that, Michigan and Trumbull.
Yep.
But Bo had an office in there when I was at University of Michigan for 4 years. Bo would come in twice a week, usually towards the end of the week, maybe Thursday, Friday before we take off. Bo would come in there, he'd punch me on my stomach. Every time he saw me, nice punch to the gut. And then he was, hey, how's my boy Stan doing? And so then we would sit there and talk. And I just got the feel for him, like, so to answer your question, no. From my dad's mouth to God's ears, no.
Okay.
Lloyd, same thing. Michigan is just different, to their detriment a lot of times. But Michigan just does things differently. The only thing I've ever heard about was the Marcus Ray situation, where Marcus Ray, an agent, paid for him, bought him a suit to go to the Heisman, because Marcus Ray went to the Heisman with Charles Woodson. He bought him a suit, like, I don't know, $200 suit for the Heisman. He got in trouble. Remember, he had to sit out 4 or 5 games, and then ended up not getting drafted.
That sucked.
That sucked because of that. But Michigan's
up with the Raiders.
Yeah, Michigan and the Raiders. But Michigan's done things the right way. So I don't believe those guys. But at the end of the day, same thing I said about Nick Saban. I wasn't in all those rooms.
Right.
I wasn't there. I don't know the deals that have happened, because Michigan has some of the most money in terms of alums giving back to the students. So it's like, I know that bread is there. And I've been in those rooms where there are handshakes taking place. I haven't seen anything, but it's like, could that be a handshake? Was that something? What could that be something? Does this person
you guys talk.
Yeah.
The players talk.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it. Your teammate
I know some guys. I know some guys that were getting paid, but it wasn't from set institution. It wasn't from the coaches. It wasn't from whatever. It was same thing. Donors like, hey man, you had a good game. You saw the program.
So let me ask you, Braylon, and not to put you on the spot.
Oh, go ahead.
And
I'm already here.
You're
I'm
already
ready
there.
for the conversation.
So I think you know what I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
In lieu of all this.
I'm glad you're doing it.
But I will ask you, in the interest of transparency, your name will live in Michigan football history forever.
You're too kind.
But let's just take a 10-year period.
Okay.
From the year 2000 to the year 2010, I would venture to say that there aren't too many people more popular or better at football that played at Michigan than you.
Yeah.
Did you have any opportunity at all to make money from a donor from the University of Michigan? Did you take any of those $500 handshakes? How many times were they offered to you? All that good stuff. Because if nothing was offered to you,
right,
then I don't know why it would be offered to Joe Schmo down the line. Because it didn't get much bigger than you in the 2000s.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And to be answered, I never was put into it, and I swear to God on my soul, I don't know if it's because they were scared of Stan Edwards, because everybody knows who my father is. Like, everyone knows. So it's the same donors, it's new donors, but their fathers.
Good point.
So maybe they were scared of Stan Edwards, or they knew the last name. Also, I was not a kid that was one of those urban city kids that, you know what I'm saying, grew up with a single mother. You know what I'm saying? And I needed money, and we were broke, and I was struggling. And don't get me wrong, like every college kid is broke.
Sure.
But with that being said, I have 4 parents. They all had jobs, so I was well taken care of. So I didn't come off that way. I never was in a position where somebody came to me, somebody offered me anything, somebody said, hey, somebody weird handshake, somebody reached out through somebody. Never was in that situation. The most that I got like hookups. Like I had a sound system in my car, which was illegal, but I went down to Monroe, gave up tickets, gave them guys, said the guy, hey, I was like, I want a sound system. All right, well, yeah, just give me, a ticket to every home game. Okay, and I paid $200, and I got about $3,000 worth of shit. So, excuse my French. So that was my one. So that was my one deal. But if you add those tickets up, you know what I'm saying, you're talking about 8 home games. 8 home games times $75. So like even that in itself was like I paid. Right. You know what I'm saying, for my sound system. Ish. Right. But to answer your question, nobody ever reached out to me. Nobody said, hey, can we put this money in your pocket? Hey, I put it to you this way. This is how I know Michigan doesn't do that. You mean to tell me, after the game that everybody stops me to talk about, every time I go somewhere, whether it's, wherever in Michigan, I get stopped about, what game? You mean to tell me about after that game, I didn't have some Michigan donor, some Michigan alum put money in my pocket, come up and say, hey, let me take you to my bank, or let me do this, or hey, I didn't have anybody do that to me after that game. That lets you know Michigan's doing things different. Because if I can't get paid after that one,
I don't know who can get paid.
If I can't get paid after that one.
How long has Ohio State been cheating?
How long has Ohio State been open?
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We'll talk about Ohio State. We'll talk about Michigan standing in the future of college football.
So I got Ohio State stories too.
I can't wait.
What do Michigan fans want? What do Michigan State fans want? We'll ask you that coming up next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They are your local security experts, have been for over 90 freaking years. They keep you safe and give you peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Right now, let them know Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hour number 2 of the program. We're just talking about this NIL. Nick Saban made it a big deal yesterday, saying Texas A&M bought all their players. Jimbo Fisher responded vehemently, calling out Nick Saban, saying, I know where the bodies are buried, essentially, in your case. And then, of course, he attacked Deion Sanders for allegedly paying $1 million for one of the top recruits in high school last year, which everybody denied. The family denied. The player denied. Deion denied. So that's another aspect of it. And then Jim Harbaugh last night saying that University of Michigan is a transformational, not transactional experience. Michigan doing it the right way.
And that goes a long way. I put it to you this way. Everyone hates Michigan. I found this out when I was in the NFL. Like, obviously, you play in the NFL, you play with a lot of guys that play in a lot of different divisions, a lot of different conferences, a lot of different teams. The one thing that was unilaterally consistent, no matter which team I played on, is everybody that didn't go to Michigan hated Michigan. I'm like, you went to Cal. Why do you care about Michigan? He was, man, you guys think you're everything. You think you're arrogant. The reason why I bring that up is, as many people that hate Michigan, you don't think something would have come out in the last 30, 40 years if like Michigan was doing things illegally? Because people want to see Michigan fall. They want to see our arrogant asses like when the stuff was going on with Harbaugh, where he was flirting with Minnesota. Like everyone loved that was against Michigan. Oh, there's dissension already. Right. So the reason why I say that, if something was going on in Michigan, somebody would have dug it up or found it. Somebody would have hired that guy who nobody has his number that goes around and find things out, and he would have found something out. But none of that has happened outside of the Marcus Ray suit incident in 1998.
I think probably the same would probably be said for Notre Dame as well, right?
I was thinking the same thing. I
mean, they want to see them fall. And I left you before the break, and I asked you about Ohio State. Now, I took you back to Bo and Lloyd. So let me take you back.
Oh, they were cheating.
Let me take you back to Woody and Chris Spielman's favorite guy, Earl Bruce, those guys. Did they cheat? Because we know now they're cheating, but I'll ask you that back then.
I think Ohio State is just like they have been cheating for a long time. Now, I can't speak on Earl Bruce and Woody. I mean, I would assume, because that's the culture. I know for a fact Coop cheated. And then Tressel. We know that Tressel cheated. Like, I know guys, whether it's Maurice Claret, whether it's Troy Smith, whether it's Ted Ginn Jr., whether it's, the list goes on. Whether it is Terrell Pryor, those guys received deals, they received money, they received deals under the table for a very long time, and they caught up with them and they went on suspension. But I mean, it's since they've got it back together and resurrected it. But they were doing it for a very long time, and that's why when you guys put up that list and we were talking about the people that are winning at the NIL who have done the best, those are all institutions that have been accused of cheating at some point along the way. Whether it was Miami, who was sitting up there at number 5, whether it's Oklahoma, whether it's Alabama, whether it's LSU, whether it's Ohio State, who was sitting at number 3, those guys have been all accused, or we know them to be cheaters. And Ohio State is no different. And I don't say that because it's our rival. We say it because it's true and it comes out, and I know individuals, I've had conversations with individuals who are forthcoming with all the information.
Let me ask you guys this question, because I was torn. I'm not torn anymore, I don't think. I'm not there yet. Here's the question. If I told you, what if I told you that Michigan could do it the right way,
right,
beat Ohio State 2 times a decade and win a Big Ten championship once a decade, twice a decade, but they're doing it the right way, but that's their cap.
Right.
Would you rather that over just flat out buying your way to a national championship? Because right now, I'll answer the question. Right now, where I'm at right now, and I am willing to change, I would say that I would take it for Michigan doing it the right way, beating Ohio State 2-3 times every 10 years, and poking your way to a national championship here and there. Or excuse me, to a Big Ten championship once or twice a decade, over just flat out going Detroit Red Wings 2002.
Yeah, you're
and
easy,
just buying
man.
Everybody.
You're an easy fan, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I just, something feels real slimy about all this.
So what?
It is legal. It is well within their right. And I posed that question to the Michigan State people on the YouTube chat. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button for us. Thank you.
My big thing is this. Being a Michigan guy and kind of watching and listening how things are playing out, the conversation that we're having now, I would, and this is going to sound terrible because I've gone through it. I've gone through that 2005 till now drought that Michigan had. I've lost a ton of money betting on Michigan. I've heard all the conversations of Michigan not being up to snuff and sucking and blah, 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 blah. It felt good this past year to not have to deal with that. It felt really good. With that being said, it feels good to be able to come here and say, I think if Michigan would have cheated in the last 4 years, you would have heard about it. It feels good to say we've done things the right way. And what's going to happen is all this is going to slow down. Like, something is going to happen. Now, it may not happen this year.
It has to.
It may take 8 years. But when it does slow down, and when it does, get back to some level of a mixture of players getting paid, doing it the right way, but also an NCAA having some type of, like some restrictions here and there, or maybe just even enforcing what the hell is already in place. There's going to be teams just going to be able to look back, and stuff is going to start coming out about how sleazy these programs were. Like the stuff that Nick Saban is pointing out to Jimbo Fisher, and you yourself were like, really? The number one class? So from 125 years to number one once, like that stuff is going to come out. What did Texas do? What did Lincoln Riley and USC do? What was Brian Kelly doing in the middle of the night? What happened in LSU? Stuff is going to start to come on, and it's going to be horrendous. I don't want Michigan's name on that list of horrendous things that coaches and donors and alums and athletic directors did or let go to achieve greatness, to achieve winning, to achieve national championship. I don't want blood on the national championship because it's going to be a lot of blood on a lot of these coaches' national championship trophies. I don't want Michigan to have that.
I don't think it'll happen because you've got that crazy man running Michigan, and everything has got to go through him, and he really does seem to be up and up. That's just the way it seems to me. He seems to be above reproach.
He is. He's God, family, and football. Like, he's like, when you hear that phrase, God, family, and football, like, that's Jim Harbaugh. Like, he and I don't necessarily see eye to eye on a lot of things, but that I do see eye to eye on, man. He's God, he's family, and he's football. Like, that's what he is. He believes in the standard. He believes in doing things the right way. That's what I saw when I was with him in San Fran. Now, he ran my ass into the ground.
Yeah.
But that joker believes in doing things the right way. He believes in his God. He believes in his family. He's above reproach.
And conversely for the Spartans, guys, I mean,
100. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at what Mel Tucker's building there. I mean, he's doing everything within the guideline, within the guise of the rules. I mean, you don't see him bending those rules. But again, I do see Michigan State feels to me, and I could be so off on this.
Nah, I know where you're going. You're right.
I could be so off on this, but it just feels like Michigan State is much more equipped to live in this college football era than Michigan is right now. I don't. Maybe it's because of the United Wholesale Mortgage. Ishbia in some of these guys. Gore's Michigan State guy. Rocket.
The main guy.
Dan Gilbert. You know, Michigan State.
Big,
Magic Johnson.
And Magic.
Magic.
And don't forget Magic.
Draymond. You got all these guys donating high profile to the athletic program.
Ishbia is a Michigan State guy. He just paid, what, $350,000 for Tom Brady to come
him
in.
and that Saint whatever guy, I forget his name, combined to pay
Mel Tucker.
Yeah. You know, how about Kirk Cousins is probably in there? He probably gives back.
Kirk Cousins
When he's
sucks.
stealing
He owes
money,
everything
he's
to
probably
Michigan
giving
State.
some to Michigan State.
Kirk Cousins sucks.
You guys hate Kirk Cousins.
I just don't like Kirk Cousins. I don't like Kirk Cousins. I think that guy.
I wish he was my quarterback in Alliance.
I think Kirk Cousins might be at the top of the list as far as overpaid athletes in the history of sport that have never done anything.
So this is where I don't have hate. I don't want to use that word.
I don't have hate either. I don't really care.
But this is where
exaggerating.
I do have that hate that you're talking about Kirk Cousins, is because I looked at Kirk Cousins' career at Michigan State. He was nowhere near better than Chad Henne. However, if you look at his career in the NFL, it's the right place, right time. Chad Henne didn't get a chance to be in the right place at the right time. So that's the one thing, that's the one gripe that I have. Other than that, they're still going to win the NFC North this year.
Chad Henne still did win a playoff game.
Yeah.
He
won
won
a Super Bowl.
In relief.
And a Super Bowl, Chad.
No, they lost.
Well, he was on that team when they won.
Oh, yes, true.
Yeah. Guys, it's never too early to talk little Michigan, Ohio State. Can we do that? Because the lines have been released for that game, some select games in college football. What do you think? And don't say it. Don't spot it out.
Okay.
What do you think Michigan, Ohio State, what do you think that line is? We'll have it for you next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Gypsy Vodka, I'm trying to tell you right now, it's the stuff of dreams, man. It's just smooth as silk. That's because it's corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Also, a lot of time was taken to make sure that this was the right formula. In fact, 50 different formulas.
50 formulas?
50 formulas, man. Went into making this the winning vodka in Michigan. That's right, it is. It is Michigan's gluten-free vodka. Speaking of Michigan State, Adam and Mike, we appreciate you for this product. Go down to the liquor store now, ask for Gypsy by name, and if you're going to drink, you're going to have a good time. If you're going to party on a Thursday, make sure you do it responsibly.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Hey guys, gonna get to the Michigan-Ohio State in just a second, but I want to read for you. Heather Dinich, ESPN college football reporter, just put this out less than a minute ago.
Okay.
Spoke with Aggies AD Ross Bjork just now. He said he supports Fisher's comments because, quote, this was personal. I don't know why Nick Saban said what he said. I don't know if he feels threatened about his position in college football. That's what we said.
That threat is real. Man.
I don't know if he's frustrated with the landscape. I have no idea. But he clearly made it personal by saying we bought our entire team. Bjork said he doesn't know what it means for the Aggies' relationship with Bama moving forward. I haven't talked to anybody at Alabama, so I don't know. And I think the latter there has more to do with this than anything. I think that Saban feels threatened of his and Alabama's standing as the top heap of college football. I think that's what this is all about, because you can't tell me exactly. I mean, Nick Saban, I think when he admitted that Bryce Young was already signed for $1 million before he even stepped foot on Alabama's campus last year, he did admit that. Now, he said he was uncomfortable with that, and we talked about that as a topic because so many people were like, well, if you're making $11 million and you can do all these endorsements, why can't this guy do something? Right. So it was a big deal, and he didn't like it, but he did it.
Yeah.
His guys at Alabama ended up $1 million to get the best quarterback in college football, in high school, to come to Alabama last year. And it worked out for him.
He said he didn't like it, but his ass was smiling at the Heisman last year when Bryce Young accepted that trophy.
Right.
He definitely was all smiles at the Heisman when Bryce Young accepted the award for the best player in college football that was paid for by alums and sponsors and donors that brought him from California all the way to little old Tuscaloosa. That's my biggest thing with it is I get it, Saban. You're a little older now, 70. I mean, I get that. I get the fact that they're breathing down your neck right now. Hell, Jimbo beat him last year. They're breathing down your neck. And we're not even talking about who the guy is now. Like, he's not even number one in the SEC anymore. He's number two.
You really think that they're on him? You really think they're on him?
Well, I'm just saying the NIL deals have allowed people to catch up quickly. I think. You got to think
Look
about
at
this.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M won
right
what
there.
8-5 last year. They beat him, and now you add all these players for the NIL deal. Texas A&M is going to be a much improved team. They got to see him October 8th. They got to go play Kirby Smart in Georgia, who have already beat them in the national championship. Now you can say Jamison Williams getting hurt was a defining factor. It was, but it doesn't matter. They still got the crown, and they don't. So I think you start to mix these things in. Nobody likes to lose. He didn't like to lose at Georgia. But what was his record? It was undefeated against coaches that coached on his staff. It was undefeated. Nobody had dethroned their czar, as Jimbo Fisher said. Nobody dethroned him, but guess what? Kirby Smart just did. And now you add Jimbo Fisher and everything that he's doing. This was a personal attack on Jimbo Fisher. It was a personal attack on the SEC, people that are going to catch up to him. Like I've said a million times, this particular episode, it's all right, Nick. They're catching up to you, man. Like, what are you going to do? Now we're going to see how good of a coach you really are. Now we're going to see what Will Anderson Jr. is really about. Now we're going to see what Bryce Young is really about. Because you've been poaching players for a very long time. Jameson Williams didn't up and just go to Alabama. You don't leave one school and then go to a school that's better. Somebody went and got his ass. That was you. And that's not the first wide receiver that left Ohio State and went to Alabama. So there's a lot of things when you start looking at it where you're like, I guess that and I guess that. So just calm down. Let's get to play football.
Do you think his assistants, led by Jimbo Fisher, Lane Kiffin, on and on,
Kirby Smart
will band together and roast his ass? Or do you think what's he going to say now? What is Nick Saban's response to this? And then of course Lane Kiffin is probably going to talk again. I mean, it's all.
I think it's Lane and Saban versus Jimbo, because look, and I go back to this. Anything that Jimbo Fisher said, he didn't deny that these guys were getting paid. He said we were well within the law. We didn't break any rules. We didn't violate anything. So he never said there was a denial. And You can't tell me that all of a sudden, after 5 years, Texas A&M is this bastion of college football royalty.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen like that. So, again, I think that Nick Saban's message is accurate. I think more people than not hate the fact that it came from Nick Saban, because I just don't think Texas A&M is this great college football school.
They haven't done anything yet.
Ever.
So let's wait. Let's see if they become Alabama or Georgia.
But think about it. Michigan,
or Clemson.
I think Michigan has gotten 6 5-star guys in the last 20 years total.
Yeah.
Texas A&M got 6 this year. You know, and I'm just, something seems unsavory about that. That's just me. Now, one more quote here that Heather Dinich just put out from the Texas A&M athletic director. This entire incident has galvanized the Aggies community more than ever. I don't think people have any idea what they did to fire up our recruits, our players, and our fan base. We've got Jimbo's back for sure. So that's I don't know. Am I wrong to think this about Texas A&M? Because both things can be true.
Right.
Nick Saban can be a total jerk and scared and all this stuff and fighting for his life to stay at the top. But he could also be true what he's saying about the Aggies paying all these guys.
Yeah, both things can be true, but why does he have to do it? Why does he feel the need to do it? Why does he feel the need to say, well, yeah, look at Texas A&M and they had the #1 recruit and they paid for it? Who cares?
Look at Deion.
Like, look at Deion. Like, he's pointing you in different directions.
I didn't like the Deion.
Like, but I don't like the Jimbo thing either. Like, who cares? Like, let them come out. Like,
just shut up.
So if they're illegal, if they're doing things the wrong way, guess what? It'll come out eventually. Because guess what you do in the dark always comes to light. Whether it takes a couple years, whether it takes 10 years, it's going to come to light. That's not your job. Your job is to figure out if Bryce Young is really that damn good of a quarterback. Your job is to keep Will Anderson Jr. happy. Your job is to go out and try to win another national championship. Stop worrying about what Jimbo Fisher is doing down there. I just don't get it. I don't get the need to point at him like, look at what this guy is doing. So what? NIL deals. Like, that's what's going on right now. This is what they're allowed to do. You know you want to point at somebody? Point at the NCAA. Because the NCAA, the same things that you were accusing him of, if they're true, they're not enforcing it. So it doesn't matter. Why not go after the people that can enforce what you believe to be true, which is the NCAA. Go after them. Don't point to Jimbo Fisher as somebody that you have a gripe with. You got to be above that. Like you said, you're the czar. Go be the czar. Let Lane Kiffin worry about that.
It is and again, I'm thinking this through on the air
so
as I'm talking. I haven't really thought this through what I'm about to say, but just to respond to your point, is the reason why all of these coaches are talking, because many of them are talking. You got Lane Kiffin, you got Saban, you got Fisher. There was I think. There was another coach that said something about A&M and a few others. Is the reason all of these coaches are talking is because there is no policing. There is the NCAA is not policing. There is nowhere to go for this. So you go public on this. You go to the media on this. You go to your donors on this because you have nobody else to go to. There's, for lack of a better way to say it, there's no police to call up when you're in trouble. There's nobody to call to say, hey, you got to come look at this. Somebody's breaking into my house. Please come.
They defunded the NCAA.
Essentially.
Mark Emmert quit. He's the president of the NCAA.
There's nowhere else to go.
He don't even want to deal with this.
There's nowhere else to go but public with this kind of stuff now. Is that fair? I mean, I'm just thinking that out on the air as to why so many coaches are opening up about who's doing what, why, and
It's all
when.
jealousy. That's what it is.
Tom Izzo used to talk about privately.
He said something last night.
Bill Self. He always would throw little jabs at Bill Self amongst small groups. Why don't you go look at that guy at Kansas? Why don't you go look at that guy at Illinois? He would always say this in these small groups.
You're right.
Never really went public with it.
There's another reason why, and the last reason why I was saying it, and we've been saying it, but I'm going to just cap it with this comment. There's a reason why Nick Saban is feeling the way that he does. There's a reason why he's pointing to Jimbo Fisher, and other institutions are as well. Our coaches are as well. That's because of this number, $147 million. You know what that number is? That's how much money that Texas A&M grosses every year, and that has nothing to do with their donors, their alums, and that oil money. That's just what they are grossing now. So 147 to Alabama's 134. And that number 147 is only going to go up and up and up and up. And Nick Saban sees that. He's not going to be able to compete. It's Texas A&M is about to turn into George Steinbrenner and New York Yankees.
Yeah, college football coaches have become CEOs of the state's largest corporation, is essentially what college football coaches have become. And it is their job to stay on top of the competition. And punching up or punching down is one way to do it. We'll continue on with this and talk about that Michigan-Ohio State game. The numbers are out. We'll get to Beer Man as well coming up. But first, a message from MyBookie.
All right, last night I gave it a good shot. I had a 3-team parlay on mybookie.ag. I couldn't use the promo code Woodward because I'm already a customer. But if you're a first-time customer, try it. Put the promo code Woodward in. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. I got mine way back when. You can get yours right now. That's free money in your account. Had a 3-team parlay. I had Carolina over the Rangers, winner. I had the Warriors beating the Mavericks' ass, winner. But I had Edmonton plus a goal and a half. I was excited for a bit. Didn't win it. Tonight, I'm right back on it. You got NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball all night long. Beer Man coming up to give you some tips as well. Use the promo code Woodward, mybookie.ag, mybookie.com. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, I don't. Please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey gang, want to tell you about Wingstop, fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. That's right, Wingstop has the best traditional wings. Try out those signature sauces, Jamaican jerk, lemon, pepper, wings. Tossed to perfection in any sauce you pick. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online, look for a location near you. Wingstop.com, wingstop.com. We
have better wings, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's why golf is so fun and entertaining, especially when you're playing with your own group, not necessarily playing with like guys that really can golf. Any shot can change the complexity of the game. I'm watching my man Harding right here. Harding is +2, not having the best round. He's probably overthinking. He's probably questioning himself. I'm +2. How do I do something? Guess what he does? From 155 feet out, holes an eagle.
155 yards.
155 out.
Yards.
155 yards. Yeah, 155 yards out, holds it, and goes from +2 to even.
Boom.
Just like that.
Boom.
Gotta love golf.
Hey guys, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Nick Saban joins off-campus ESPNU radio. Will join Jacob Hester and Bobby Carpenter today at 4:30 p.m.
And here
on
we
ESPN
go.
Radio. Sirius XM channel 84 if you're in your car at that time. Nick Saban on today.
Oh, this is another reason I know.
We'll have that for you tomorrow, by the way.
Of course. Oh, we're going to bring it in hot. We're coming in hot off the presses tomorrow. This is another reason why you know Nick Saban is he's getting a little bit upset. He's getting a little bit petty. He's starting to do this because Paul Feinbaum, who has never said a negative thing about the SEC, in particularly Nick Saban in Alabama for the last 15 years. Paul Feinbaum can't find himself to say anything negative about the SEC. Damn sure won't say anything against the czar. That is Nick Saban. Oh, he'll talk shit about Michigan, but he won't talk about them. But with that being said, he even said earlier today that Nick Saban was wrong about Deion and he was wrong to go after Jimbo Fisher. He said, let the day have its day in court. He said, you should be worrying about not being number one in the SEC right now. That's what Paul Feinbaum said. And if Paul Feinbaum can say that, that lets you know that little old me in Birmingham, Michigan, is right about Nick Saban.
What did I ask you just a few minutes ago? What's Nick Saban going to say? And here you tell me he's right back on ESPN coming up here in a little bit. So I can't wait to hear what St. Nick says.
It is intriguing because, obviously he's not going to back down now either.
But will he double down?
Well, he's not backing down. We know that, right? I mean, Nick Saban is only going on the radio show to double down on his comments about where he believes. Because let's face it, these guys believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like Nick Saban isn't going out there lying to you or willingly lying to you. He fully believes, and in his mind, he cannot understand how Texas A&M can all of a sudden have the #1 recruiting class in the country.
Unless,
again, after 5 years of Jimbo there. This isn't Jimbo leaves Florida State, reinvigorates this program, and Jimbo gets the #1 recruiting class in the country. That was not the case. This has been 5 years, and then all of a sudden like that, they got it. He cannot believe how a recruit could say no to one of the most storied college programs in Florida State to go play for an HBCU?
Yeah.
He can't see that unless the player and his family are receiving something like that.
And that's what pissed me off, man. Let's deviate from Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban.
Sure.
And let's go to Nick Saban and Deion, more so just Deion.
Hold on, Bray. Shouldn't he have been happy that the player didn't go to FSU and went to play for Deion? Shouldn't he have been happy?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so. Maybe they secretly thought they had a shot at him. But bringing it back into, talking about Deion and him pointing at Deion, and I said it earlier and I want to bring it back. When people believe in something, that's what people can't account for. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, why did he go to Jackson State if it wasn't about money, if he didn't get paid money? And, now Nick Saban said it, and yes, that's what when you believe in something, like, money is not the object. Money isn't the motivating factor. And what he believed in, him and his family, is like, yo, I want to go play with one that looks like me. That's Deion Sanders as a black man. I want to go down here and play for this team. I want to be with the greatest DB of all time. I want to be with arguably the greatest NFL personality of all time in terms of prime time and all that. When you believe in something, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And I don't want to put these two together because I want people to be very, very cautious. Now I'm explaining this. Be cautious. I don't think they're the same thing, but I do. When you believe in something, just like this kid believed in playing for a black coach because he was a black man, his family believed in that, and they want that, they see that for the future. It's similar to what Pat Tillman did. Pat Tillman got paid, but Pat Tillman believed in his country. Pat Tillman believed in the war. He believed in his duty, his service for his country. So everybody saw that $14 million he was getting from the Arizona Cardinals, and they couldn't believe he took the deal. That's because money wasn't the motivating factor. It was his belief in his country.
We're going to do this live on the air now. Fletch, do you have this clip? You mentioned Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah.
Here is him calling out Nick Saban.
Bringing in Paul Feinbaum to talk about that, our ESPN college football analyst. Paul, what is your reaction to Saban and these comments calling out Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M?
Ryan, I am gobsmacked by what he said. Not because I haven't heard him insinuate that privately, but for Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time, to go public and accuse.
That's all we could do, Fletch? It's because it's got the highlights. It's all kind of damn YouTube. Can we play the audio without the video or no? Yeah, let's do that. Just put the video on us and play the audio.
Yeah.
Hughes, one of his biggest rivals of essentially cheating, although that's open for interpretation, is really stunning. He has insinuated this in the past, but one thing you have to remember about Nick Saban, he complimentary toward everyone else, even when you know it's passive aggressive. But this was way off script. He's been leading toward this for some time, but that volcano erupted last night.
It sure did. How worried do you think Saban is that this could impact Alabama's dominance?
Well, I think he's very worried. Let's remember a couple of things. He lost to Jimbo Fisher last year in College Station, first time he had ever lost to one of his assistants. He lost a national championship game to another assistant. And now you have a new force in recruiting. And some people will say, well, Alabama has everything going for them. They do. They put more players through the pros. They do this, they do that. However, they do not have as deep a pockets to buy players as Texas A&M. Texas A&M is an oil-rich state. Alabama is not. And I think that's really...
And that's
really
good, Fletch. And, you know, pretty much Paul Feinbaum confirming everything that we've been talking about.
147 million.
Oil money, huh?
147 million to 139. 139 is what they have in Alabama, but guess what? That number goes up because it was 142 a year ago. So it's $5 million up for them, and that's a lot to go up.
Yeah.
$5 million for an institution that's not necessarily winning national championships, and it's only going to get better and better and better, which means they got more FU money to throw at these players.
Right.
Hey, just going back to the Deion thing again, and these kids that want to go play for Deion, a guy that they can relate to. I'm telling you, I'm watching the Magic Johnson special on Apple TV, and it showed when he was a kid in grammar school, and he was picking his high school. He could not wait to go to this one school. Could not wait to go to it. It's only in his backyard. But guess what? They wouldn't allow him to walk the 3 blocks to that school. They made him bus to Lansing Everett, which was like a half an hour away because the busing started. That's when the whole busing episode came out, and they were busing African-American kids to predominantly white areas. And Magic said, I could not believe that I couldn't go play for the school that I wanted to go play for. But all my guys are there. I had to go play at Lansing Everett. And then the principal takes him on the side as a freshman and says, I need you to lead your group to stop the riots, because these kids were getting rocks thrown at them. You got to watch this video, but what Braylon said is on the money. You want to go play where you want to go play. Mm-hmm. You want to play where you're comfortable.
And then just look at it from this standpoint too. You talk about the parents, the parents of this young man who are young parents now. You know what I'm saying? They're that area down there, Florida, Texas, just the South as a whole. You saw like where race issues were and race tensions were from 2020, the start of COVID, kind of to now they've cooled off a little bit. Thank God. But you saw how bad things were in 2020, 2021. Like you could see young black parents saying, you know what? Makes sense. I want you to go play for Deion. I want you to go play for this black man. So it's not about money. That was a big thing. It's not about money. It's a bigger thing. We want you to play with a guy that looks like you, and we know who this guy is. So that's the thing. I got pissed at Saban. Like, come on, Saban, do your research.
I didn't like that.
You could tell that, and like Paul Feinbaum said, and I forgot about that part, although I keep saying it. He lost to Kirby Smart and Jimbo in the same year. Ooh. He went from 0 losses against guys on his staff in his career to 2 in 1 year. That's gotta hurt.
We're going to turn our attention to tonight's NBA playoff action, tomorrow's NBA playoff action, and perhaps a little MLB. We'll do that next with our guy, Chris Prince, Beer Makers fan on Twitter. We call him the Beer Man. He'll join us next from Woodward Bets. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health, substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, is here on the Woodward Sports Network podcast. It is called This is the F Word, and the F Word stands for fentanyl. They are here to have the conversation. Sean Jordan, NFL Alumni Association, they do an amazing job at just having these conversations. Listen, it is okay to not be okay. It is okay to not be okay. Reach out to thesportsma.com if you have any questions, any concerns, if you just want to find out what's going on. Everybody knows somebody, or maybe you are that somebody. So reach out to thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey gang, Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, and Tom Mazawey. Big night in the NBA. Big night last night in the NBA, too. And for more on this, we swing it out to our guy, Chris Prince, Beerman, on Twitter at BeerMakersFan, part of the Woodward Bets team. What's up, Beer?
Hey, Beer.
How we doing, guys? Another night of NBA. These playoffs have been amazing. So excited for another game here tonight. Although my Bucks are not in, so a little tear here. But another good game tonight, Miami and Boston.
They'll be back.
Told you I like the Celtics.
Yeah.
Beer, you would be
Maz,
appreciative.
I should listen to Maz more, man. Maz's always got the answers for me.
Yeah, sure.
You would be appreciative of this one. So on game night, it was game 1, Tuesday night, I took a parlay that said that Jaylen Brown was going to have over 21.5. I said that Jimmy Butler, including assists and points, will have 35 plus. And then I said Jason Tatum would be over 29.5 and he would have 3 threes. So at the end of the game, everything is locked and loaded. I got Jason Tatum with 1:20 at the top of the key. All the other bets are paid off. I got Jason Tatum at the top of the key. He has 29 points, and he has 2 threes. And he's at the top of the key to shoot a 3. I said, there it is. There's my parlay.
Whoop, there it is.
Shoots the worst 3-point shot I think I've ever seen Jason Tatum shoot, man. The moral of the story is it is never done until it's done.
You're not kidding about that.
Jesus Christ.
That's betting, man. The ups, the downs, the sweats.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun, though. Sweating
It's
them
true.
out sometimes.
Hey, Beer, I got to take my hat off to you. The other day you called for Aaron Judge to hit 2 home runs, and that was a big number.
Yeah, plus
Wow.
2,100 on that. I mean, the Yankees just had an amazing matchup that day against a righty that really struggled. So the way the Yankees have been swinging that stick, Maz, Stanton, Judge, I love those 2 home run props because you generally get 20, 30, 40 to 1, so you don't have to put a ton on it. You put a couple bucks on it even, you're turning that into 100. Yep. So appreciate that. Judge came through for us big time on that. Just one of the bets that we tend to give out on the Woodward Bet Show every weekday at 4:30, weekends, 9 a.m. So if you guys are looking for some of those, come join the show.
All right, man. How about tonight? Let's get it going. It's the Heat and Celtics. The Celts had it their own way the other night in Game 1.
Third
then
quarter.
The Heat decided to turn it on, and Jimmy Butler went crazy. Who do you like tonight?
Maz, I think it would be easy to say let's go back to the Celtics here. They did look good in that first half, and Miami just kind of blew them out of the water. Sounds like Al Horford going to be back in that lineup, which is great for the Celtics, but no Marcus Smart potentially as well. So what I'm saying here, Maz, I like Miami to win once again. They've been very good at home. Jimmy Butler's arguably been the best player in these playoffs. I think you get a big game here out of Bam Adebayo tonight. The loss of Kyle Lowry has not really hurt them. Gabe Vincent played extremely well in that game. You get the scoring punch of Tyler Hero off the bench. I just think this Miami team, as well as Boston's been playing, and again, a lot of people are going to look at Boston and look to them even the series up. The spread seems a little bit too low, Maz. I think Miami takes a 2-0 lead here in this one and wins comfortably here again tonight.
Hey, Beer, in that game, give us a couple of side bets that you can make. What are some things that you're looking for? What are some things that you think can happen with the Heat and with the Celtics? Like, where are you looking for Jimmy Butler and obviously Tatum? Some of those side bets, not actually the game itself.
Yeah, a couple props I really like tonight, Braylon, and I'm going to go back to Bam Adebayo. I'm expecting him to have a big game. His points prop sitting at 15.5 tonight just seems a little bit too low. I'd expect him to get close to 20 points in this game tonight, even with Williams back. So I like that one. On the other side, I think they're going to need Al Horford to be more like the guy we saw in that Milwaukee series. So he's back in that lineup. They're going to need a little scoring punch from him. His is just sitting at 11.5 as a point prop. I like him to go over that number as well. So a couple overs for Adebayo and for Al Horford tonight.
All right, my man. How about the Golden State Warriors last night, showing their dominance over the Mavericks? They'll play tomorrow again. This one will be out in Oakland again. I love the Warriors to win the whole thing. Are you with me on that, first of all, and tomorrow's game? Hit us.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Maz. They look incredible. I mean, the way they are playing right now, a lot of confidence. I mean, to get a big game from Andrew Wiggins only makes them even more dangerous. I mean, they go so deep with talent. I mean, Jordan Poole has really evolved right before our eyes here. Wiggins having that big game. We know what Draymond, Steph, and Clay are going to do. So I just think they're too deep for this Dallas Mavericks team. And Luka just did not look great last night. I mean, didn't shoot the ball well, 7 turnovers in that game. They're not getting much from anyone else. I mean, only 3 other guys even hit double-digit scoring. So it's going to be hard for them to keep up with the pace of Golden State. They want to slow the game down. I don't know that they're going to be able to here. So as much as, again, I'd love to go on Dallas here as well as they played against Phoenix, I just think they're outgunned here. Golden State playing at a very confident level here. So I agree with you, Maz. They are the favorites for a reason. I think they also win at home. So I hate to give you two favorites here, but I think Golden State does it once again tomorrow night.
Beer, are any of these series going to be a series, or is this just mathematics until we get to a Golden State Miami final?
No, Ryan, I think Boston's gonna give it a go here. I think that one's gonna go 6-7 games. Where Golden State, I think Dallas gets one, maybe two here. I think that one probably ends in 5, but I do think Boston is gonna give Miami a run here. They get home. I know they struggled a bit at home against Milwaukee, but again, Miami plays so much better at home. So Boston, I think, will battle. That one, I think we get a series. The West going to be a snoozer unless Luka comes out and scores 40 to 50 points a night. I don't know that they have the firepower to compete with that team. So Boston-Miami should be a longer series, I would think.
Beer, man, let's switch gears for a second. You've been watching, or I've been watching NHL playoffs, and they have been phenomenal. Actually, this is about 4 years in a row now that they've been great. I think they have been the #1 playoffs in professional sports the last couple of years. That's just me. Last year, you saw Calgary, you saw the Oilers, you see 16 goals scored. It's a fun time in the NHL. What do you see tonight? You got the Lightning and the Panthers. You also have the Blues and the Avalanche. Do you see anything for your bettors out there?
Unfortunately, Braylon, I'm not a huge hockey guy. I don't hate hockey, man. Now, don't pay me in that corner, Maz. I don't hate hockey.
All right.
Let me give you the backstory here. As I grew up in Milwaukee, no NHL team.
You got the Blackhawks.
We were anti-Chicago in Milwaukee, Brad. That was our head-to-head series. So we did have an IHL team, the Milwaukee Admirals. But
the Admirals.
Never got into it. And moving here, sure, I look at the Red Wings, I follow things, just never really dug in to hockey. But we do have Detroit Beastie on the show a lot. Guy knows hockey inside and out. You can give him a follow on Twitter. Always some great hockey nuggets there for you, Braylon.
Here, Bray, here you go. You ready? Take Florida tonight, big.
Yeah.
Take the Blues tonight to beat the Avalanche. There's
Easy
your
as that.
parlay tonight.
Easy
How about
as
that?
Terrible.
All right, how about Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy? I bet Rory today, yesterday before the PGA Championship. He was plus 1,800. He shot his second lowest round in a first round for him. He's leading the PGA Championship right now. Who do you like there?
I mean, I think he can go on a run for sure. Zalatoris, another guy that we've talked about on the show. We have Kelly Singh, a.k.a. Kelly in Phoenix, join us every Wednesday on the Woodward Bet Show talking golf, and she talked up a lot of these guys. So Zalatoris, one of those guys, is right there on the fringe, Maz. Pun intended there, but about to break through, a guy that has a lot of talent here. So we'd love to see these big names do well. So to see Rory up there is great, but I think Zalatoris could go on a run here this weekend.
I hope not.
See you always walking your Milwaukee Brewers hat. So with that, let's transition over to baseball. Tigers, they lose the last two, so they lose the series against the Rays, but they got the Indians. They have the Guardians
tomorrow. That
in
starts.
Cleveland.
Yep,
that
tomorrow,
starts.
that starts.
So
tomorrow.
what are you thinking about the Tigers with the Guardians as well as MLB in general?
Yeah, Ray, I say Indians all the time too. It's gonna take a couple years to get that out of our system.
Sure,
like Washington, it's still the Redskins. If not, it's the football team. It's kind of like when I'm rattling off my kids and I say all the wrong names first. So
especially like when you're not talking about those teams all the time.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So the Tigers, we've seen glimpses of hope. And, I know you guys have spent a lot of time on the Tigers, and I keep saying it can only go up from here. Can it really get worse than what we've seen? But I still tend to lean those unders with this team, Braylon. We just haven't seen them score a ton of runs. It's good to see Torkelson hitting home runs, but unders generally the way to go here, and even run lines against them until they go on a little bit of a run. I'm still betting against them, unfortunately, but unders certainly. As far as tonight goes, not a lot of games in play tonight. I do like the Chicago Cubs at home, about a minus 128 favorite. Stroman expected to return to the hill. Has been solid this year. ERA under 4. The line has trended up towards the Cubs, so just 3 games. I like the Cubs tonight, minus the 128.
Hey, Beer, last thing, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, guys, but early lines out for college football. Michigan, a 9-point favorite against Michigan State, and a 14.5-point underdog to Ohio State.
Whoa.
What do you make of those numbers early on?
Early keyword.
Super early. Ryan, I'm proud of you for digging those numbers out so far in advance. I mean, we're talking months away. That's some Woodward bet stuff right there. But, I mean, the Ohio State thing, unfortunately, that they've had their number, as we know. So you almost have to set that number that high. C.J. Stroud back, Smith and Jigba back. I mean, that offense could be very electric. As far as Michigan State goes, we'll see. How do they move on past Kenneth Walker? What does this team look like? I'm a big believer in Mel Tucker, the recruiter, so I think he'll have that team ready. That number seems a bit too high. Ohio State, as much as I hate to say it, that number seems about right the way things are going.
The great Chris Prince, listen to him and the gang. 4:30, Woodward Bets, Woodward Sports Network. Beer, great stuff, man.
Thanks, Beer.
Best of luck.
Before you get out of there, I just want to say, Ohio State had those guys last year, and guess what? They lost by 14. So take it easy.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
I just had to ruffle Braylon's feathers.
And you got me. You got me right.
Easy.
You got it, though. Checkmate. Guys, thank you for having me. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you in about 40 minutes on Woodward
There you
Bets,
go.
guys. All right, Maz, we're going to do your videos of the day next, but first a message from the Folding Warehouse.
In Hamtramck, Chris Hunt, his wife Noni, they made the game of Folding, the great football and bowling game that you can play. Couple of ways to do it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 10 or 12 of your friends or family costs you $120 for 2 hours. You have all the room you want if you want to bring your own food in or have it delivered. The bar is high. They've got over 100 beers to offer and the $2 mystery beer machine. So get on down here. Get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
It's time to talk about Planet Fitness. Listen, every time I come up here, I tell you, got to get in shape. Planet Fitness, they're here for you. No judgment-free zone. That's what they have. They want you to come in. They want you to work out comfortably. They want to get you in shape. They want to turn you into summertime fine. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and let them. I will let somebody let me be better than myself. Let me be the best version of myself. Well, that's what Planet Fitness wants to do. They want you to be the best version of yourself. $10 a month, $0 down right now.
Only $10?
I'm trying to tell you, man, only $10, 40 quarters, man. Go. Your fitness is essential. Right now, sign up or go online, planetfitness.com.
Woodward Sports Network, Brian Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey.
Hey, I got some Tiger news for everybody. Earlier today, Matt Manning had a rehab start at Toledo against Indianapolis, and he left early. And everyone thought it was his arm. And, oh, my God, the Al Avila has said it is not his arm. He just was not feeling good. He was lightheaded. He will be fine, so he will make another rehab start. So, Tiger fans, take a deep breath.
RELAX. Relax. Time of the day we like to play
Maz's videos of the day.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day. Only on the Woodward Sports Network.
This one's for Ryan. I got his guy. I got his idol. I got Jameis Winston as a collegiate baseball player at Florida State. Check this out, man. He could quarterback back then, too, even in the outfield.
Get it. Get it, Jameis.
Fire! Woo! Look at the kick out.
Oh!
How about that?
You want to hear a funny story?
That's a Bo Jackson throw.
So I was 14 years old.
Here we go.
I was 14 years old. I was playing in this 16-year-old tournament. It was baseball. I was playing right field, and I just threw a BB, getting a guy trying to go first to third on a base hit. On a guy hits base hit to me, first to third, BB to third, get him out. They call him safe. So my manager, Mike Lane, God rest his soul, he was the Harper Woods Notre Dame baseball coach.
Okay.
He, after the inning, he lost his mind and said, how do you call him safe? He was out by a mile. And he said, I've never seen a throw like that to third base. And so he assumed safe.
Wow. Did he overturn it?
No, he didn't overturn it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Never came out the game. Never came out the game.
Ever came out of the game.
So you're pretty good at baseball, too.
Yeah, but you know what can I say?
I'll be damned.
Never came out of the game.
What can I say? What can I really say?
You are a stud.
I mean,
you know what
I'm not Braylon Edwards.
That's why we love you, man.
Hey, man, you know what? Hey, this is your time to shine.
I mean,
This is your time to shine.
I got it.
So just one more thing in common that I have with Jameis Winston.
There you go.
I love it.
I love that guy.
I love it.
I love Jameis Winston.
I'm surprised no one cut that off for the interception.
You're that guy.
It's you, man. How ridiculous are we?
Sorry.
Look at this.
Jameis went 5-2 last year, man.
Hey, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah,
dude, they're gonna win. They might win the
New Orleans
South.
to be a surprise.
They might win the South.
Hey, give Tampa Bay a run, man. Give them a run.
Well, first of all, Tampa Bay in the regular season, the last 2 seasons, they're 0-4. They're 0-4 against.
Yeah, they own Tampa Bay.
They're 0-4 against New Orleans. If you can steal 2 wins from Tampa Brady.
Tampa Bay?
From Tampa Brady, hey, I take it.
They own it.
I take it.
Here's one. This one.
Carolina sucks. That's another 2 wins.
This one is like a David Ajabo moment.
Okay.
I don't really love playing this, but I want to tell you.
Yeah,
Tariq Cohen, the former Bears running back, he was live streaming his workout the other day, and he blew out his Achilles. You're not gonna hear it because there's music in the back. So here it was. This was live streamed.
Oh man.
Tariq Cohen. Here he goes.
Oh,
right there. It was like someone shot him.
Look at him.
Yeah. Just keep it going. It is Bray. I know you never blew out an Achilles, but
no,
it looks painful, man.
No, it definitely looks painful. I've never blown out an Achilles. I've done an ACL. I've done a meniscus. The thing about it is when you've been injured before, and I think anybody can see it, but when you've been injured, had a major injury, whenever you see an injury, it's like whatever injury you had, it instantly it tightens up. You feel it, it tingles, man. And when I saw this online yesterday, my ACL, I felt a little tweak in my ACL, man. But that's bad. You know, Tariq Owen was doing so well. They had that backfield at one time. I believe it was him and Howard in Chicago. And that backfield was really nice. And then they get rid of Howard. Howard goes to Philly. Yep. And now Tariq, they cut Tariq as well. But a damn good player, fast twitch guy. Want to see him get back in the league, and then this happens. So
he's been going through some personal stuff too, on top of it all.
And now this is why we have SMA, because what happens with this is you're already going through something. You're already struggling, but you're fighting. You're in that battle. And then this happens because you know what comes next. Now, how do you handle this as you're already dealing with other things? That's why SMA and companies like SMA are to help you here to help you deal with mental stress as well as just all type of things that you didn't even know were going on.
Man, we wish him nothing but the best, man.
Sure.
I like to see him bounce back. By the way, we can't wait to talk Lions spreads tomorrow with you. You guys got him sweeping the Bears? Well, talk to Vegas about that. Here's something for you. Yesterday, you guys were gone, and I showed a video from our series, Braylon, Winning Time. The Lakers series. The cameraman, he was on roller skates.
I saw it.
You did see it. Cool.
I watched it.
So he followed like the guy that was playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all the way down. This
did the spin.
This one is another scene from this HBO's Winning Time. This is how they did an alley-oop dunk to Dr. J. Watch.
That rim is definitely
how low is it?
8'5" tall.
You think? I think it's lower than that.
No, it's 8'5".
Is it?
It's about 8'5".
Oh, this is from Winning Time?
Yeah, it's from Winning Time. That's how they shot it. Yeah, that's how they shot that scene.
That's about 8'5".
That's the fake Dr. J that looks 60 years old. Here he goes. Boom.
Oh my God, is that awesome?
Look at that.
You see the green screen in the back?
That rim is 8'5".
The power of Hollywood in a high school gym. Is that a high school gym?
I don't know what it is, but it's small.
YMCA.
It's small.
They got that Great Western Forum floor on this though.
I missed that show already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Can't wait
I
till it
can't
come
wait to
back.
season 2, man. It's gonna be interesting to see where they take that. Is season 2 kind of like a snapshot? Do they just speediate from like 82 through 88, or is it they kind of go 82 to 86 and then maybe 86 in season 3?
Well, the
through
first thing you know
92?
what they're tackling is when Magic got Paul Westhead fired.
Yeah.
I mean, the following year, he got Paul Westhead fired and Pat Riley hired. And
I
Pat
love
Riley
your
and him-
guys' love for this.
I love Pat Riley.
Look at those short
I
shots.
love Magic Johnson, too.
Great job, Mavs.
Thanks,
Great
brother.
job, you. Great job, you,
Hey,
Bray.
appreciate that, buddy.
Gents, great to be back with you. Bray, send us out of here.
Hey, man, it's great to be here, man. It's a great time to be in Michigan. Great time to be in Detroit. The weather's nice. It's sunny outside, man. Go outside and have fun. Get outside the laptops and the computers and the daily work and sitting at home, sitting in the office and the Zoom calls and the meetings. Take yourself outside, go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Take your wife and go get a drink. Go get a bite to eat. Go have some food. Get outside, enjoy the air. Enjoy the fresh air. Because right now, I'm smiling because I've been outside.
Be present in what you're doing today, folks. We love you.
100%,
We'll
man.
see you tomorrow.
That's our show.